Thanks for staying with us. So continue with the punch. Yes, the story. YK, go ahead, please.
Yes, a 17-year-old boy, Ojigbe Chukwuze, was founded, was reportedly founded. Actually, his boss had accused him of stealing 100,000 naira. So he came home. The sister saw him come home, went into the house, collected some money, and went out again. The next thing, the boss calls her and says, your brother stole 100,000 from me. Then a neighbor calls her and says, I just saw your brother lying by the bus stop. When she went there, he had sniper. When she got there, she saw his lifeless body. He had taken sniper. The sniper was beside him and killed himself. So the police are investigating. I thought it was such a sad story.
It is. It is.
I think maybe he didn't steal that money, and he felt bad that
He was accused.
Yeah.
he was accused. So we should watch before we accuse people.
So the House of Representatives they've resolved to invite BUA Group and Cement and the Dangote Cement to appear before them for deliberations on ways out of the hardship arising from the high cost of cement. If you recall, we had discussed this a few times. Those two companies have the monopoly in cement production and sale. So the lawmaker from, I think, Nasarawa State, Mr. Gaza Bifui, was speaking. He argued that the cement manufacturers have increased the price of the products about 50%, leading to sharp hikes in prices, building blocks, cost of building, and consequently rents across the country. He also argued that the raw materials being used are sourced locally. So why is the cost of cement so high? And they've invited the two key companies to come to the National Assembly to come and defend the prices.
They should come and defend the prices because they will be saying dollar. Are they using dollar to buy the cement?
It's even been stable for a bit now.
Let's even forget that one. Is it the dollar they're using
Can't
to
go
buy
back to
the
3.5. It came down to about, I think, 9,000 or so. It went to 13.
Exactly.
Yeah, about
Let's
about
just see the
9,000.
prices also follow the...
Follow the dollar.
That's how you go and buy something. I've been asking all of them. Shall you use dollar to buy this one?
Even mango. Dollar.
Because the diesel that will bring it from the farm is in the truck that's going to drive it all the way. It's more expensive.
Mango.
So diesel is expensive. So is it?
Diesel has gone.
No,
Yes, now.
In fact,
we can't.
companies are just folding.
Vanguard.
Yes.
Let me not go there.
More controversies over 3.7 trillion naira gap in 2024 budget. Nigeria lifts sanctions on Niger, opens land borders. Kidnapping, no ransom paid to criminal elements, says Tinubu. Fresh abduction sign that impunity reigns, says Amnesty International. Aidatiwa's endorsement splits Ondo Assembly. Ige Mokwede returns to access as Holdco chairman. CBN resumes agric funding with 100 billion naira. And Edo 2024, Shebu, Ojezua, others challenge Igodalo's candidacy in court. Okay?
Yeah, just
Which story?
short
Kidnapping.
story. Yeah, so the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yesterday restated his directives to security agencies and the Ministry of Defense, and that no ransom should be paid by government to kidnappers, bandits, or any criminal elements for the release of abducted persons. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, was the one who disclosed this, during the briefing after the State House meeting, the Federal Executive Council meeting. And he said that, because of the kidnapping incidences we've had so far in the following weeks, a lot of people have been abducted. The president, on the other hand, had given a directive to security agencies and Ministry of Defense to make sure that those kids that have been abducted will be brought home and the criminal gangs will be prosecuted. And so he's saying that there's zero tolerance for payment of ransom, and the security agencies have to work around the clock to see how they can save these children that have been abducted. So all hands are on deck. They are still looking at getting help from other countries as well to see how they can bring these children back home.
In another, the Amnesty International have said that the 60 people that were kidnapped in Kaduna State is a sign that impunity reigns. So they are commenting on the spate of kidnapping and the 700 people that were kidnapped in Borno, Kaduna, and Sokoto. It shouldn't be tolerated
at all. So the Axis, Axis Holdings PLC, Holdco, has announced the return of Mr. Ige Imokwede as the non-executive chairman. IGE replaces Mr. Abubakar Jimo, the erstwhile chairman of Holdco, who remains as a board as an independent non-executive director. If you recall, IGE Imokwede was the MD of Access Bank over 10 years, and he has stepped down from the bank in response to the untimely passing of the immediate past Group Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Herbert Igwe. Following extensive consultations of the chair of all the board members, they unanimously decided that IGE was the right person to be at the helm of affairs. So congratulations to Access Bank, but congratulations more to him because he's been one of those who directed the transformation of that bank. Okay, our last paper for this morning, which is the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we've not taken. Food security, CBN awards 100 billion naira worth of fertilizer to our Greek ministry. Navy impounds boat smuggling petrol to Cameroon, arrests 3 suspects. Africa Development Bank seeks end to loans tied to Africa's natural resources. New date for student loan scheme coming, says presidency. Kidnapping, no ransom will be paid, says federal government. Police probe death of 17-year-old boy who allegedly committed suicide. And 700 persons abducted in Nigeria in 10 days, says Amnesty International.
Yeah, I have the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, has announced that the allocation of a total of 2.15 million bags of fertilizers worth over 100 billion to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. So on Wednesday, during a visit to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, the CBN Governor, Olayemi Cardoso, said the purpose is to enhance the nation's food production capacity, security, curb inflation, and ensure reduction of food prices. He says that the CBN places a significant emphasis on maintaining price stability as one of its primary mandates, and food prices is a crucial component of inflation, especially considering, that a substantial portion of household expenditure in Nigeria is allocated towards food and non-alcoholic beverages. In response, the Minister of Agriculture said that the agricultural sector recently faced challenges such as COVID-19 pandemic, flooding, climate change, as well as the Naira redesign policy. He says all these adversely impacted farmers at the grassroots, and including conflicts here and there, insecurity. All of this, had come together to impact agricultural sector. So this is a welcome donation, to the sector at this time, and hopefully this will help, to encourage farmers to go back to the farm and would hopefully start to see some changes. But of course, many people will tell you that the issue is about insecurity.
Yeah.
That fertilizers is fine, but insecurity has to be dealt with quickly for farmers to feel comfortable and confident to going back to their farms.
So yesterday we took the story that the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Akitunde Soya, suggested that the implementation of the student loan scheme have been put off indefinitely. Now the presidency is restating its commitment to the implementation of the student loan, and they are saying that the takeoff date will be announced very soon. They've just postponed it because they wanted to fine-tune, certain things. We talked about it yesterday. They said they are putting final touches.
Was indefinitely.
Indefinitely, yes. But they said soon they will give us the new date.
Soon,
indefinitely. Final touches, to enable the proper launch of the scheme. And what's wrong with you?
See,
and they also say that this is the flagship of the president, and so because of that, it must be done. But they just want to, make sure that everything is looked at holistically and more people are put into that band.
I was just the dates that they will now follow.
Because even the second coming of Christ is soon.
They were yabbing them gone.
Yes.
That this was one of the things that they said yes.
The flagship of
now.
So how can you now postpone it indefinitely?
Even our Port Harcourt refinery that they said that they opened December. I've not even heard anything so far. We just heard December was supposed to be December.
No, they opened it.
It was open, but I've not seen it. I'm not sure if it's actually refining crude. How many barrels we're getting per day from that? We have to follow up and find out information.
In fact, I was actually impressed. The Lagos State government opened the red line.
Yeah.
Have you been?
She's been abroad.
Oh, don't worry, we'll fill you in. We'll fill you in. The boat is also coming very soon.
Which boats?
They're bringing new jetties.
For the waterways.
The waterways.
Shall be land person.
Anyways, I have to take this story. This story is very important. The president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Ishinam, has called for an end to the loans given in exchange for the continent's rich supplies of oil and critical minerals used in smartphones and electrical batteries. Specifically, was saying that this has helped China gain control over mineral mining in places like Congo that have left some African countries in financial crisis. He says, how is it? He said, according to him, he said they are bad, just bad. First of all, how do you price an asset that is inside the ground? If you have minerals or oils underneath the ground, how do you come up with a price for a long-term contract? That's a challenge. According to the man here, according to the bank, linking future revenue from natural resources export to loan payment is often touted as a way for recipients to get infrastructural loans for projects. But this is obviously not a way for them to get their money back. So it's something we know it's been happening for years. But as African Development Bank, as an entity, is now saying we have to find a way to stop it because you can't really properly value the minerals you're getting in exchange for the infrastructure you're promising.
Yeah.
It's not commensurate.
It's not.
And the infrastructure go get killed safe. You train no go work well. They should just stop it. They should just stop it.
Yeah, but we don't have the technical ability. So there are 3, 4 ways of looking at it.
Who don't have
We don't have the expertise. We sometimes...
We're talking of Africa in general.
Not-
even.
no,
There are some African countries that are worse off. Yeah.
There are people that have it. If you don't have it, train them. Train them. Let's stop selling
Fine.
our assets.
Let's find another story. Okay, we don't have time for any other important story.
The Nigerian Navy, they impounded, they arrested 3 people yesterday carrying 10,000 liters of petrol to Cameroon. That's the Navy, yeah. The commanding officer of the Navy said that he handed the suspects over and the petrol over to the Nigerian Security Defense in Ibaka on Wednesday. The intelligence reports indicated that a boat was conveying petroleum products to the Republic of Cameroon while transiting within the waters under FOB Ibaka's area of operation.
Okay, got to wrap up. I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, on to our next segment, stay with us. We'll be right back.